Hey family, I'm back once again. This is Brother Prodigy, and this installment is titled "The Game of the Future." And really, before I get into it, I would just like to thank all of the subscribers out there, all of my supporters, and also the people that also take a negative or adversarial position regarding this information, because both of which really strengthen me and encourage me to do what I do and to really continue to do what I do. And these installments are by no means the gospel, quote unquote. They're just understandings that I've come to along the way. Okay. Now, like I said, the title of this installment is called "The Game of the Future" because I believe to a large degree that game is being ran on us, specifically dealing with our modern day concept of a future or the future. And what I'm going to be talking about in this installment is what is the future, how it correlates with prophecy, etc., etc. Now, really getting started, when dealing with what is perceived to be reality, one must come to a proper understanding of the fact that the only thing that exists perpetually is the present. Your experience, the now. This is what is real. The past is simply that which provides the evidence that present moments are the only reality. The information relating to the past, it's simply just records of present events immortalized. So, and basically what I mean by that is when you look at the conception of a past, the past is just an immortalization of a present event, or it's just documenting what occurred at a present event in time. Now, I'll go into this a little bit more deeply later, but for right now, I want to talk to you all about how many of us are really being mind-fucked by the Antichrist. And by Antichrist, I mean anti, which simply means in place of Christos, which is the anointing oil, the anointing olive oil, aka melanin. So we are being mindfucked by those that seek to replace us and seek to replace melanin. Okay? Now, how are we being mindfucked? Simple. In the belief in what's called a future or the future. And I think that it must be properly understood that the future, or what we perceive to be a future, is an abstract concept that we attach lust and desires to, thus stimulating emotion, which is energy in motion. Emotion is the only thing that has the potential to make any concept of a future event real, because all is energy. Okay, all is energy. Now, let me go further. The future is not real. Okay, the future, I know it's hard to believe, but the future is not real. The future does not exist. The only thing that is existing is consciousness and now time jurisdiction, i.e. the present. Okay, the present, it's your now time jurisdiction. Okay, it's the only thing that matters. Now, let's look at a person's job, for example. Okay, your boss, if you have a boss, supervisor, manager, etc. And even society in general leads us to believe that life is all about saving up for your future and retiring at a ripe old age. I mean, these are the concepts that we're given throughout our lives. Okay, now this is utter bullshit. For consciousness, the present is continuous and never ending. The concept of a future is just a program that they're using to keep you in a perpetual state of slavery and servitude. Now, how? By brainwashing you and I and getting us to really dedicate our life to some future fantasy. Okay? For example, we have what's known as the American Dream. Now, your boss might tell you that in 5, 10, 15, 20 years you can retire and live comfortable. You can achieve the American Dream, quote unquote. Now, while this has the potential to be true, it's only a hypothetical, because you can transmigrate at any moment, okay? And what really actualizes something is energy in your intent, energy put forth into motion, which thus equals emotion. So it's the present emotion that always has the ability and can only have the ability to collapse that which is potential into reality. Furthermore, this system could crash at any moment. And remember, just because a given system is continuous does not mean that it is stable. Besides, when you look at Esquires, they're continually shaping laws, statutes, and codes to reflect more aptly their doctrines and their shared beliefs. When you look at the future only exists in your mind as an illusion that you work to make real. You must understand that reality is contingent upon you believing in the interpretation of data signals, putting energy thus into motion, which thus collapses illusionary phenomenon into reality. Okay, so that is important to know, that the future only exists in your mind, which is a prison, as an illusion. Okay, as an illusion. It's you putting energy in motion. That is what makes it real. Okay. Now, when we look at consciousness is directly proportionate to the chakras that are being awakened in your being. The higher the chakra awakening, the higher the manifestation. Manifestation does not happen in the past nor in the future. Manifestation is always in now-time jurisdiction. Manifestation is always in now-time jurisdiction. In this matrix, propaganda is necessary. Propaganda is necessary. Propaganda is used to essentially feed the populace stereotypical images of success in hopes of persuading them that they can achieve heaven on earth as long as they work hard. Okay? So propaganda is used to really lead the populace into thinking and believing in success and achievement as long as it's based or predicated upon hard work. Now, in history, powerful nations like the USA, USSR, Germany, Rome, etc., all had effective propaganda units that essentially shaped or responsible for shaping public opinion. And it was usually away from what is right and towards what is socially acceptable. Okay? And who decides what's socially acceptable anyway? Esquires and politicians. Through law, they shape public opinion. And public opinion is a reflection of a collective zeitgeist. If society can entrain you to concentrate your efforts working towards something that does not exist, i.e. a future event, they can keep you in a perpetual state of suspended animation or sleep. Now, where does prophecy fit in all this? Where does predestination fit within all this? Well, prophecy and predestinations are concepts that don't actually look into the future. Okay, prophecy and predestination, contrary to popular belief, are concepts that don't actually look into the future. We have that belief that it is looking into the future because we are bound by a linear dimension of time set up by the demiurge. They don't involve looking forward to some future event. It's actually looking at a linear timeline from a separate and distinct timeline than our own, one that's different from ours. You see, prophecy comes from the illumination that occurs once timelines intersect. This is why certain prophecies occur at certain periods within our timeline. Furthermore, prophecy always involves entities outside of our dimension of time that provide us with the illumination. For example, the prophecy about us going into slavery in the North Gate, i.e. the Western Hemisphere, was revealed to us by higher entities whose timeline has already intersected ours at the point of us being sold as chattel slaves. And the trickling down effect in our dimension is revealed prophecy. So you have entities that have access to higher time dimensions or multiple time dimensions that see time as spherical instead of simply linear, and through their interaction, through their consciousness, their present consciousness that they're experiencing, those timelines will inevitably cross ours. Okay, and when they do, it's not something that is a past or present. Okay, it's something that always exists. It's not something, when their timelines cross ours, it's something that for them is a present moment. For us, it might happen 200 years down the road, quote unquote. But the reason why is because timelines, many timelines, infinite timelines, have the potential to be faster or slower than ours. So someone that is revealing prophecy to us or revealing a revelation to us does not necessarily have to have a future foresight to really see it happen. And I know it might sound confusing, but you have to think that we are beings that are bound, and this linear dimension of time is all we know. So it's hard for us to really think outside of the box when it comes to multiple dimensions of time, or time as a spherical element. Okay? So it comes to us as prophecy. Higher dimensional beings, their vision of time comes to us as lower dimensional beings as prophecy, because we are always behind the 8 ball. All right? Now, when time is viewed as being spherical instead of linear, the concept of a future becomes moot. And the reason why the Bible recommends using fulfilled prophecy as a testament to a prophet's validity is because fulfilled prophecy evidences a close communion with higher dimensional entities with spherical timelines. All right? Now, it should also be known that, quote unquote, looking into the future only has a basis, like I said, when dealing with a linear timeline. And it's this confinement to a linear timeline that keeps us on lockdown. Mind manipulation is what keeps us hoping and looking towards a bright future. When in reality, everything is connected with the now. It's your power over the now that has the ability to strengthen you or hinder you. Even the elite know this. Their goal is to keep you and I preoccupied with daydreaming of future bliss while they systematically rob us blind in the now. It's your power over the now that stimulates what potentially follows. Now, we're being played. The future only exists as a probability. The past is simply the demarcation of a present moment when you start to look at time as spherical instead of linear. It's this calendar that has us all messed up. It's our modern day calendar, the Gregorian calendar, that has us all messed up. The modern day calendar is a brilliant lockdown tool because they can program it whenever they want to, which the rulers of the Matrix call them holidays, which holidays are simply programmable systems of behavior in which the body politic realigns themselves according to collective behavior preset standards. It's all artificial, because if you think about it, the concept of a future is what fills colleges with people that wish to be successful in the near future, quote unquote. It's what fuels child support entitlement programs, social security, breeding, etc. All right? The masses of society need something to hope for. The masses of society need something to believe in. They need someone to tell them that the future is going to be rosy and that the economy is somehow going to bounce back. All the while, bankers are retiring, committing suicide, and vacating the United States en masse. You see, the prudent take action now while the lackadaisical daydream and end up suffering. It's called exploitation. And in this matrix, the exploitation of the ignorant is always an asset to the ruling elite. So think about that. This installment isn't going to be that long. I just wanted to come and really bring this home. So think about the next time you quote unquote plan for the future. All right. Think about it. Think about it really deeply. Think about what you are doing now, because that which is a future event has not happened on our linear dimension of time. So we must always take that into deep consideration. So once again, my name is Brother Prodigy. Today's date is April 13th, 2014. Shalom and Hotep.